Morning, everybody. I did a quick video this morning. A decade of decadence, right? Who remembers it? Who remembers it? Isn't that crazy? That sorry, early mornings still carry me up. Maybe one day, but yeah, the decade of decadence. Crazy, right? Right? The 80s, and it's funny when you look back on their historical take on it. Oh, what a time of change! Oh, what a time of technological breakthroughs. Oh my goodness! And wow, when you look back over our lifetimes, you look at color TV. I'm just talking about lifetime. Some of you are probably older. Some of you are way younger. Not sure. But hey, Zach, what time do I normally wake up? I usually, Zach, and the better way to answer that is what time do I go to bed? I usually go to bed by 9 o'clock, 9:30. So I usually wake up about 4:35 in the morning. I just 7 or 8 hours of sleep, man. My eyes open. Morning there, Elle. How are you doing? Alan said you went on his show last night, and sorry I hadn't watched it yet. I will catch it, but I gotta remember put the link there in the chat for anybody that wants to come on. But yeah, dude, I usually get up 5:30, 7 or 8 hours of sleep, man, and my eyes open. Nothing I can do about it. They just open up, and it's time to get up. First one of the day. But yeah, I've never been a person to lay in bed. Can't do it. Can't just lay there. Can't. I rarely, rarely ever fall back asleep. Oh, got a sub, Anthony from Florida, is going to be visiting family, and right. Well, it's like this is a way better time for you, right, El? This is like 8 o'clock in the evening, so way better for you. But yeah, dude, I get up early. Always have been. Always have been. You know, when I worked in surgery for all those years, you know, it's 7 to 3 shifts. So you're up and you're at work by 6:30. And that usually means you got to be up by 5:30. So it's just automatic for me. Just do it. That's how the decade of decadence is. Think about all the crazy stuff they brought to us. The Walkman, MTV. Yeah, you start looking back on that and you see the little gaps, and it just gets wider and wider. All the sexual perversions, all the decadence, you know. Remember in the 70s, the biggest freak they let on TV, there was 2 of them, Tiny Tim and Phyllis Diller. Those were the 2 male-female, out on the edge freaks, as far as they're going to go. Nobody else. That's it. That's the weirdest they would get. Boy, the 80s came along and blew that out of the water, right? It was crazy. It just Changed everything. Oh man. Went from June Cleaver wearing her pearls, cleaning the house, to Peggy Bundy. Think about that. Remember the Bundys? They've kept us really busy over the last 5 decades. My only reference point is the last 5 decades. And the hard part for me is the whole time going, this is crazy. This is crazy. You guys, this is crazy. Why have we ever, and why do we continue to do it this way? And there's the Queen of Australia.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, thank you. Had a really great day. We went to the Tram Museum, just Dad and I, and I got some videos. I put up a 6-phase mercury rectifier that they used, to convert from the alternating current to the direct current to run the tram. So they had the glassware there and had a video showing it. Uploaded a small video, but I got some videos. I'll just edit it soon. And I'll upload them, different models of the trams and a few things. It was a great day.
Nice.
Really great day. It's sad that we lost that tech, hey? You know, like, why did we get rid of it? You know? Like,
You know, there's a lot of theories, but
yeah.
You know, you just got to think for control. Because it does seem like whatever worked really well that they just shit on and got rid of.
Yep. Yeah. Unidroit. And apparently the bloke was saying they had a meeting of all the companies around the world that were trams, that ran trams, and they all got together and decided, we'll shut it down. You know, and then we had all these fires burning everything down and all over the world, all around the same scenario. So,
well, you know, we have our theory of, you know, the devil loosed.
Yeah.
When you see, you know, when all the things we talk about, when you see those sudden boom changes in history where, wait a minute, everything was pretty cool till all of a sudden, you know, what happened? How come? Why?
Yeah.
What's happening? You know, why are these remnants here? What y'all do? You know, and that's like when I'm my whole theme for today, the 80s. I mean, they threw so much stuff at us in the 80s. Oh my God. And you know, you couldn't keep up with it all.
That's right. And I was saying to Dad, like, just before the 70s and the 80s was really the last decades of the old world systems. Ever since then, it's all new world systems. You know, when the computers were brought in and then the video cameras and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Well, me and Alan were talking yesterday, and we know there are forms of free electricity systems.
Yeah.
We know they use pneumatic systems. They used hydro systems. You know, we had all these engineering abilities and all these different modes, which were all efficient, which were all, you know, they're documentable. They were there. And if the devil wasn't loosed, then I say all those things are still functioning. But once he's loosed, boom, anything of any convenience, he knocks us back into the dark ages.
Yeah.
He comes and hits us with a sucker punch, you know, and just starts wailing on us from that point on.
Yeah.
And look at the technology, the pneumatic systems. I just for
Yeah, you see how they used to like they'd have an office building and they'd send paperwork up through the pneumatic system. I'll dig up a video of the old Reserve Bank system that they showed through a archives video. It's really big and it's amazing. It still sits there. It's not working now, but it's amazing.
I'm talking the train pneumatic systems also.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You've seen those
yeah.
pictures of the train that had like the gasket around it,
Yes.
sealed it
Yep.
to the tunnel. Those
Yep.
kind of things. That would have been cool as shit. I can imagine it, man. Build up
Yep.
the pressure and shoot you down the line, and you're there in no time. Easy ride on air.
Yep.
And now it's gone. And then what did we get in return for it? We got the '80s. We got all this space program just ramped up huge. It
Yeah.
was 69, 70 since we'd gone to the moon. Then all of a sudden, bam, in the '80s, here comes the space shuttle.
And
Yeah.
then in the 80s, it was global warming. It was actually Greta Thunberg's grandfather that created the term global warming. It was her grandfather. He was a scientist that was the main man that come up with that term.
Well, acid rain was the big thing in the '80s.
It was, yes. They had a huge
Acid rain.
problem with acid rain. Yeah.
Yeah, the acid rain was the big push.
Yeah.
And, if you think, but I need to go look at some of those old stories they did on the acid rain and what they were claiming. Their whole claim was, destroying everything, destroying the water, the buildings,
Yeah, it would eat through anything it touched. There's
Right.
a couple of videos. I'll share them on my community tab later. But I've seen a couple of videos where it shows you where it's damaged the buildings and that. There's a place over in, I think it's Ukraine or Uzbekistan, somewhere over there, and they have a big coal mine. And every time it snows, they go on about the black snow because of all the coal dust in the air, and they say that when it melts, it's basically toxic. I don't know if you've heard about that one either.
No, I hadn't heard about that one.
Yeah,
But just the things we know about. Okay. I mean, that's a big enough, you know, treasure trove of weirdness. Just what we do know about.
yeah,
We know there were giants they won't tell us about. We know, the crops, the waterways, everything was different.
and see, in the 70s and the 80s is when they started building those seed banks because of the GMOs were coming out. And they knew once they bought the GMOs out that those seeds would never be the same, that they wouldn't, regerminate once, like they'd be infertile basically.
Right,
You'd get
right.
you get one crop out of it and that's it. You got no more seeds. That's why they built those seed banks. They
Oh,
knew
sure.
it would,
Got to protect
yeah,
themselves.
yeah,
To protect
yeah,
themselves. And little did we know, we're like, I remember hearing the first time about GMO foods. And it was, the whole story of, wow, they can, they'll grow bigger, they'll grow faster, and they'll withstand harsher conditions,
mm.
or have better, production.
Well, here it was about weeds. You don't need as much for weed control, rodent control as well.
Right.
Um, but here it was a big push in the early 80s about MSG. And now you don't hear anything about MSG now. You know,
Right.
I don't think people know about it.
Oh, not mine. So we ought to refresh them one day. But yeah, the MSG, and but the whole story to me was so benign from them. Just it was all on the guise of this is going to be better. We're not going to have to worry about food now. We're going
Mm,
to be able to produce like never before. And
yeah,
it never struck me that, well, that's not natural. That's not natural. It's whatever they produce is not going to be worth having.
yeah.
It
It's not
never
going to.
it never hit us, right? I mean, there were probably just like a deal I did on one of my other videos about the guy who wrote the book back in the '80s. talking about all this going on with the jab and with the medical field and just the way they were going to transition everything, into medical martial law one day. I mean, the guy who wrote the book all about it in the 80s, just telling everybody straight up, here's what they're going to do, man.
Yeah.
Trying to tell you, here it is. And they're, the guy might have sold 3,000 books, right?
Yeah.
And nobody listened to him. You're an idiot. Now you read that stuff, and I mean, he's right on the money. Yes, 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 yes. He did every one of them the way they say, and nobody listens. We just.
Yep. Everyone's just ignorant and thinks, no, they wouldn't do that. The latest one here in Australia that we're having problems with, they're saying anyone cannot, recreational boating or fishing is now limited to 3 nautical miles offshore. Can you believe that?
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
Because that's where the state police's boundary is.
Is that the international boundary?
That's the boundary. After the 3 miles, it turns to the federal police, and that goes to 12 miles. And after 12 miles, it's international. They don't want you getting out into that international waters by the sound of it.
And getting away, right?
Yeah.
Right. You ain't going to get out of here. This is a prison island. We know how to keep your butt on here.
Yeah. And the sharks, we've got problems with sharks. They had a big culling in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. They put drum nets and all that kind of stuff in. And since the mid-2000s, they got rid of all the drum lines and the nets. And now we have shark attacks all the time. I wouldn't go in the ocean now, put it that way.
Oh, well, Australia. And I remember you talked all that stuff about them trying to quell all the sharks. And I when you said that, I still remember thinking, what are the sharks? What are the sharks going to do? Are they going to keep breeding? I mean, is this going to keep them away, or does it work? I never did it work.
Well, they were on the verge of extinction, particular types, right? But now they're just so prevalent out there.
Okay, so they made a big comeback.
Oh, we're getting shark attacks all the time up and down the East Coast and the West Coast, and you heard of shark attacks, but not like what we're getting now. There was only 2 last week that were attacked by a shark, lost his leg.
Right.
Yeah, it's happening quite a bit. So same as the crocodiles up in Darwin. They try to keep the crocodiles out of Darwin Harbour. They shoot them, but anything else, they just let them go. See, it's all to keep us from going anywhere.
Right, they don't want you to go nowhere. Well, when I worked at Galveston, University of Texas Medical Center there, of all the things while I'm there, and it's not a big town at all, Galveston's not, 2 gunshot wounds and a shark bite. This kid's walking there in the Gulf on the beach, and a sand shark came up and got him right behind the foot, about the ankle. And it's crazy when you see a shark bite like that. Man,
yeah, they're nasty. See, we got bull sharks in the normal rivers, and they're pretty feisty. Then you got the wobbegong sharks, you got tiger sharks, you got great white sharks. Yeah, so there's quite a few that are, but I don't know why we got to kill them. It's wrong. So
it's their home.
That's right.
If you want to go play in the ocean, that's where they live. Okay, you got to understand. If you get bit, I feel bad for you, but
I don't really have sympathy for people that do that.
You made a choice, man. You made a choice.
I'd rather go swimming in a pool or a creek where I know there's no bull sharks, because the bull sharks come up to the fresh water to get rid of the sea lice. That's why we have the bull sharks in the river. But hey, if the sharks don't get you, the jellyfish will get you. But if they don't get you, the blue ring octopus will get you. And if that doesn't get you, the coral will get you. And then on land, the snakes, the spiders, and the scorpions. So everywhere we go, we're fucking doomed.
Right. You can't know where to go. One of the funniest things I remember seeing on a TV show, that Modern Family, they went to Australia.
Yeah.
And the dad just fuck. He did. He got bit by a spider. He got
Yeah.
everything tore him up. He's like, oh my God, Australia's trying to kill me.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
then you're a true Aussie.
Yeah. They
Just
actually have warning placards on the aircrafts, all aircrafts, showing how the native animals are deadly. Um, yeah, a lot of people actually do die because they don't take it seriously.
right,
You
right.
know, they think it's a joke. They really do. They
Well, all
don't
they've
believe.
ever seen is TV or something. And
Yep.
then when they see it live, they think, oh, yeah, it's no different. I can get close. Bam, get hit.
Yeah.
What the
See,
heck?
there's a little jellyfish, the Urandangi jellyfish, and it's tiny, about an inch long, but it's got long tentacles. And if that touches you and you don't get to hospital straight away, you're basically dead, you know.
Right,
And then you got your box jellyfish, several
right,
other types of jelly. It's just crazy. But how have
right.
you been? How's things going there?
Oh, it's all fine and dandy. Just cannot complain. Um,
Pottering along.
yeah, I have uh, I have an appointment next Thursday for my pain. See a pain management guy
Oh
about,
yeah.
about my back, and I
Yep.
have one last appointment on my package deal I bought with my chiropractor when I first got here.
Yep.
That's almost done, and so I don't know. We're gonna see what these pain management guys say. I may, I may get an injection and see what happens.
Yeah, I have an injection about every 6 months, and my daughter has it in her hip as well. I have it in my shoulder and my back. It goes in by ultrasound. They guide it through with the ultrasound. Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah,
So,
I did lots of these in my career, so
have you tried acupuncture?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Function.
yeah, yeah,
I just my deal's just elasticity.
yep,
Nothing will stay in place on
yeah.
my.
The
On,
bones will just move and yeah,
yeah,
go back to where they are. Yeah,
yeah. And so I just need, I guess some pain control at the nerve level and see what happens.
yeah. Nerve pain's horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it gets it gets fucking old. I was telling Alan the other day, man, I feel good every day. I just really do, mentally and everything, and physically, other than my back pain.
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel good all the time.
People, people
Except for that, I just can't do anything.
Yeah, people don't understand when you damage your back, you are never the same. You will never be the same. And people just don't comprehend. I never understood my grandma having a metal rod in her back and her pain. But
Right,
after I broke my back, I know what she's gone through. And my back's too bad. They can't do that rod with my back. It's way far too gone.
right.
But yeah, it's amazing. You don't realize how important your back is until it's gone.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And for me, gosh, I don't even have anything surgical. There's nothing they can do.
that's the same as me. They told me I'm going to be paralyzed from the hips down as it is. That's going to happen. We know that. But they said if we go in to try and straighten your back or remove that slip disc, they
Right.
said you're going to be paralyzed from the shoulders down.
All empty
And
in there.
You know, I can handle being paralyzed from the hips down, but not from the shoulders.
Oh
You
my
know,
God! Right, right.
mm,
Forget that. Forget that. But
yeah,
you know, our deal here, um, got these. We're gonna hunker down here for the next year, make a plan.
yep,
We're gonna try and get back out to West Texas. It was good seeing my parents. My dad, like I said, he's not doing great. He's slipping, and those people, my brother and mom, everybody being around somebody every day, you really don't see it that much.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But when you don't see them for a while, you notice it.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
been since June since we'd seen him, and yeah,
he's slipping.
yeah. I
Mm,
told my brother, you got to stop his driving at night for sure. Got to
yeah,
got to stop driving at night. I said somebody needs to go by every day, at least
yeah,
one. just to say hey, see what's going
Yeah.
on.
Keep an eye on him. Yeah. It's
Because
good to have my dad here. I've noticed he's sleeping a lot. So, but
yeah.
yeah, no, I was just watching a movie with Dad. I saw you on. I thought I'd pop on and say hello. But,
Yeah, I was just gonna jump on. That hit me this morning, watching some stuff, some movies and different stuff over the last week. It's just wow, they really poured it on in the '80s to us.
they have, yep,
The arcade
everything.
scene
Yep,
when I was junior high and high school, eighth grade, ninth grade, sophomore year. The arcades really was like the movies at our home. I mean, that thing
yeah,
was packed elbow to elbow.
yep,
Every Friday and Saturday night. After school every day it wasn't full, but there was always
yep.
people in the
People
arcade.
everywhere. I remember the lock-ins in the arcades and all that, where you'd pay a fee and then they'd open it up and just let you play.
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't see it back then. But looking back now, I can see it all like a game of chess that's all laid out every
Yeah.
5 to 10 years. They've got new stuff, different plans happen, different laws come in, different trade deals are done, and it's just like chess. And we're
Political
at the
footballs up and down. Good guy,
yeah,
bad guy, good guy, bad guy.
yeah, and
I'm
now it's the
played it.
drums. Yeah, the drums are war now, and we know this is coming. It's happening. So yeah,
Well, I mean, all the truthers I've been watching, man, a lot of people are like, hey, I don't think there's going to be, and I don't feel this either. I don't think there's going to be physical war. I think it's just going to have to be a separation of agreement
yep,
that, it's like, look, we know you guys don't mind at all jailing people and starving people, but if you'll just leave us alone, we'll leave you alone.
it
It'll,
won't be like the last few wars, that's for sure. I don't know how it's going to be, but it's not going to be like the last few. But
yeah.
it's certainly exciting times to be in. I know there's a lot of pain and suffering, but to witness what's going on and to be able to report it back, and say, this is what they've done to the people, this is how they're suffering, that's what I look forward to, is doing that. So,
Well, you say that there's a lot of pain and suffering. I contend a lot of those people don't realize it yet.
no, they don't.
They
No,
don't realize
they're too busy being in the world
it.
and
Yeah,
not out of it.
they're not miserable. They're not miserable.
No.
They think all is well. They think
Mm,
hey, it's just tough. Life is tough, man.
yeah.
You Life is hard. Sometimes you gotta follow rules. You know,
Mm,
and they're just oblivious to it, and they think we're idiots. They
yeah.
think we're really way off base here, man. Come on, just
Yeah.
you have a
We're not.
you have a
Yeah.
smartphone, put the tracker on it, go get the jab. Just come on, people. I
No.
don't think they really. The program works so good
Yeah.
that they've
Yeah.
got their phone and they've got their platforms, and they're happy. They're
Yeah.
happy.
It's sad, isn't it? It's
Mhm.
really sad.
They don't.
Here they say they're gonna open up and everything, but you can't go to the church unless you're double jabbed. You're not allowed to. I said to Dad, I said, I wouldn't want to go to a church that's making you do that. That's not a real
Right.
leader.
What kind of faith leader is that to go?
Well,
All
that's
right,
believing in science and not God, isn't it? That's
yeah.
being in the world and not trusting God. So,
Well, that was
yeah,
kind of what all the preachers said right off the bat. Now, look, everybody, look, you know, we've got to listen to the science, you know, and the science says, this is best. And
mm,
so, we can pray where we're at. We can gather, in small groups. Our preacher said basically that, hey, we got to listen to the science. Let's see what happens. And I was just like, well, we gonna wait and see what happens. Let's just come to church and like we do all the time and see what happens. Yeah.
yeah. Well, the Lord said to come out of the churches and the assemblies because they're filled with nothing but demons and wolves in sheep's clothing, and He trashed the money changers' temple. So if Jesus is doing that, what are we doing associating with those type of beings? We shouldn't be, you know.
Right. I mean, for anybody that says they're a man of God spreading his word and even entertains the idea of shutting the church down over any of that, I really think that, yeah, you don't get it. You're not you're not fully living in the word. You don't understand the word, and you're not who you say you are, because
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. Any leader that would say, "Yep, that's a good idea."
Yeah.
The Lord sent this man to us. Thank you, Doctor Slouchy. Thank you. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to do a quick one this morning. I'm so glad you jumped on, Elle. It's always good to check in with you, sweetie. We,
Thank you so much. Yeah. I'll
we're for you guys over there. Discernment, good vibration.
exactly.
The Lord's anointing on you guys. I just want everybody out there to realize, hey, wherever you are, it's out there. But
Yeah.
if you walk in the Word and you trust in God, it's not gonna bother you. It ain't
It's
gonna
not gonna
hurt
have
you.
fear. That's
It's
right.
not
Have your
gonna,
full armor God on.
yeah, it's not gonna
Yeah.
be fun, but you're gonna be fine. It's gonna be so. I think it's gonna be more irritating for us than anything. Just,
Yeah. Where's your patience down?
mhm.
Yeah. But I'm getting better at it, so I'm learning to bite my tongue a lot better. So, but
Lots of
yeah,
because it
I'll
does
finish.
taste good, even if
Yeah.
you have perfect fact and truth. It doesn't matter. These people they don't want to hear that. They don't
They
care.
don't care. It's their
Boy,
programs. You can't. There's a certain point where you can only do so much, and the people that have had it, you've got no hope in breaking that program. But the ones that haven't had it, we still have a chance in getting them over to Jesus, because if they haven't had it at this stage, they've got some reasonable thinking, and perhaps Jesus is carrying them through this time. So
and think about what better sign could we have
yeah,
as Christians to those who, okay, these people have a chance with. We know these
yeah,
people,
yeah.
no
I,
chance. I mean, what a
that's what
great,
I.
it really is a great sign.
Yep. Yep.
That
So
really helps. That really helps discern who you can even begin to approach.
yeah. Yeah.
That changes the whole game right there. Otherwise, you're just kind of still rolling the dice.
Yeah.
If
Well,
you,
it's like my mum's believing that stuff on TV. She goes, "You got to have the vaccine because young people are in hospital and they wish they had it and they're dying." And all this, it's dividing families. Every time we speak, it ends in a fight. And I'm just at the point where Mum, I can't talk to you. That's what it's coming to. I can't visit her because, my auntie visited her and she wasn't double jabbed, and Mum done nothing but bitch the whole time.
right.
You know, so I'm not even going to go there.
Your parents' generation, how did your parents' generation get so programmed like this? My parents are the same way.
Yeah,
The same way. They're just like, man, I'm gonna get it.
I think it's because her parents went through the war, and when they grew up, they didn't have many things and worked hard. And I think they had a lot of government support back then when the rebuilding of the war and the country happened. And they believe that the government is there to help them, because the government's always done that. And she doesn't believe that they would do this. So, yeah, I think
They
it's just
no,
more.
they have no suspicions of the government much.
No, no. And she's like, "Oh, you kids are all being done and everything." And I said, "Yeah, I don't deny, that they were, but this one I deny it. I'm not doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't have a problem with them, but this one I do." So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
This
yeah.
this one alters your DNA, and it's been proven in the Supreme Court in 2013 that if you put something into your body and if it alters your genetics, you become the property of the patent owner of that product.
Right, because by taking it, you by law had to sign a consent form.
Exactly. So now you're signing your soul over to them. You didn't trust in God. So
Yeah.
I just can't go down that path. But yeah, no, it's great to catch up with you. I'll finish watching this movie with Dad, and finish uploading the videos. I got some
Yeah.
tram videos. We spent the afternoon together,
Cool.
and check out that 6-phase Mercury converter.
Oh, wow. Look at
It's
that.
only a 4-minute video. It's a very short minute video. It just shows you how it works and what it does.
Right.
They used them until the 60s, and then they were just all banned.
Then just bam, just like that.
Banned. Gone. Overnight.
And there, but like that, I watched the deal about the Concorde the other day.
Yeah, my
And
grandma went on that. Yeah.
the accident that was the last thing that shut it down, so they said, was such a crazy deal. I mean, this was just crazy.
That's
And
what we said when there's been so many jumbo accidents with 747s and all those kinds of things. Why
right,
would they do that after Concorde doing it? What it comes down to is they had to adjust the pitch of the nose, to keep the lie going. And basically, they didn't want them out because it'll break the lie of the globe. That's
right,
basically what I was told. Granddad told me that. He said they had to get rid of them because it proves the Earth's flat if you're in them, you
yeah, too
know?
many people were like, look at.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the crash, they kind of blamed it on a continental flight that took off right before this last flight that crashed. That a metal strap broke off of it, and it was pretty cool. The investigation went and found the records from that airplane, and they'd replaced that strap like 3 times, and they had drilled out the holes like 37 times, and you're only supposed to do it 12. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, so I mean, they had a problem that they kept fixing, and just kept rigging it back up.
Mm.
And that thing supposedly, that strap supposedly busted a tire and punctured a fuel tank, and they were already ready to go do takeoff, so they just had to go, and the engine caught on fire, and rest is history. But they said. That the service record for it was just so bad. Well, when you look at the wrecks that it had, didn't have much anything to do with it,
Didn't make sense. Yeah.
right? It ran over something.
Yeah.
That's a whole different story. I mean, that's if you watch NASCAR, there's a guy going out there and he's just humming, and all of a sudden, bam, he blows the tire, hits the wall. What happened? Oh, he hit a piece of debris.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think, yeah.
it can
So
happen.
we know they run on compressed air. They only use fuel to run the generators, to run the computers. That's the only reason they use fuel, because when they start them, they use a compressor and they get it up to a certain revolution per minute, and then they take the compressor away, and that's how they start the engines. And they didn't have much area for fuel, so the fuel lie would also break the planes running on compressed air. So it's
Yeah,
another
they were
reason.
talking about the fuel tanks on it. It had like 11 of them, they said.
Mm,
And the furthest one was in the tail section. And
mm,
they talked about how on takeoff they transfer fuel from that back tank to the middle section to change the center of gravity,
what a load of shit.
and then transfer it back to the tail once they got up.
Yeah.
It was a good documentary on it. And but the whole idea of that plane and the speed and the altitude and all of that, like
Mm.
you said, right there. For how long did people sit there and look out those windows and think to themselves, wow?
And did you notice they get rid of it just as mobile phone cameras were becoming popular? It's around the time the cameras and the phones were getting better. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have any chances with
Mm.
mobile cameras. I mean, it's thematics maybe, but I've
Mm.
never seen any
And see,
pictures.
they done the same thing with the Challenger spacecraft to get rid of the NASA shuttle launches. Big fire with the O-ring supposedly, and
Right.
they were all alive. They weren't in that shuttle.
Well, the deception
Mm,
we could go on for hours about.
yeah, but yeah,
You,
I will be on back later in a couple of
right?
hours. I'll pop back on and I'll finish uploading
Okay.
my videos. If you're about, pop in and I'll catch up. And
I
It's
will.
great.
I will. All right,
It's
let's sign off
it's
here.
great
Hey,
to catch up with you,
you too, sweet.
and I hope Kathy's all right and with work and everything.
Yeah, she's
And
doing.
how's the granddaughter going? Good.
Oh,
The
she's
babe.
great. We
That.
FaceTimed with her yesterday. She's just
Oh, great.
an angel. What an angel.
Great.
But let me tell you real quick about Kathy and her work.
Yep.
About 3 days ago, she gets a text from Ruth. This lady, Ruth, and Michael Pertocci. He was the president of her division for like 20 years. Close with him, real close with him. And she gets a text from Ruthie going, "Hey, Michael's mom is in a home in Port Arthur, which is right here by us, and Michael wants her to come to your hospital. Can you arrange that?" And so she's like, "Well, sure, I can." And so they call, and she talks to them, and she heads up to the hospital, meets the old lady there from the nursing home, gets her all set up, and everything's all good, and she's about to head home, and it was great, man. This is poetic justice. This is God watching over her. Her boss calls and goes, "Hey, I just got a call from Jim Kendrick, who is Michael's, equivalent, and that this guy knows, and Michael Bertocci's mother." And Kathy says, "Oh, I'm here right now at the hospital with her. I've got it all taken care of." And he's like, You already have it? You already taken care of it?" She goes, "Yeah, yeah. I've been talking with them for the last couple of hours. I'm here with the mother. Everything's good." And he's like, "Oh, wow. Okay, great. Thanks." And then she comes home the other day and goes, "Well, now all of a sudden I can do no wrong."
Oh, great.
And I'm like,
Fantastic. Because she
"There
had
you
a
go."
hard time not long ago, didn't she?
Right.
So,
Yeah. And
yeah,
I said, a phone call for your CEO from a guy like Jim Kendrick.
that's
And
good.
Jim Kendrick going, "Hey, Kathy is the best. I've known
Fantastic.
her for over 20 years. Oh, she's the best. She's the greatest."
Hallelujah.
I was
That's
like,
great.
"I see, baby, it'll work out just fine."
That's great. Praise the Lord. That's great.
Um,
Cool.
I was so impressed. I was like, "I knew it. I told you, just do your job and something, and
Yeah.
it'll be fine. It'll be
Yeah.
fine."
It'll work out. It always does. If you just stay on your path, God has plans for us all.
She goes up
Yeah.
and sees the lady. I think she went home the other day, but she went up and saw her each day, and fed her one day and
Yeah.
visited with her and stuff. So, it's God blessing her. I told her, I said, "You've got so many good connections and friends in some pretty high places. They've come through a few times for her that
That's great.
she
Yeah.
dropped their name, and then they drop her name, or they'll be in a meeting,
Yeah.
and these people don't know she knows all these people, and they walk in, everybody goes, "Hey, what's up?" And she's
Cool.
hugging and high fiving, "Hey, so good to see you." And they're all sitting there going, "What the fuck? How does she know?"
How does she know we're on? That's
Oh,
great.
oh, worked with them here and there and here and there, and now their leadership's just going, "Wow, this bitch really knows everybody." Shit.
Yeah.
So that's
That's
beautiful. Just beautiful.
fantastic. Good
All
to
right, guys.
hear.
We're gonna
All
sign.
right.
God bless you all. Love you all.
Yeah.
Discernment. Good vibration, guys.
Raise your vibrations, and thanks everyone. Thanks for having me on, Tommy. I'll hope to see you a bit later on.
You're
And
welcome.
God bless you. Thank you.
You too, sweetie.
Thanks, mate. Bye, everyone.